Welcome back, everybody. This is Kyle Bazzi here, filling in for Joel Elconin on Friday's edition. Honey Badger Market, August 22nd. Wrapping up the week. Joel will be back on Monday. But are pulling in now our last guest of the day, Lydia Finkley. I met her first actually last year around this time at Stocktoberfest and saw an awesome presentation from her. She is a Forex trader and author of FaithMightFX.com, but she does so much more. Lydia, good morning.
Good morning, Kyle. Good to be with you.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Like I said, you are stuck with me for the next, for the rest of the morning here. Now, everybody, I talk about really good people to follow on Twitter, and Lydia is 100% one of them. So I'm going to be dropping your link here, at Faith Might, into the chat here. But Lydia, let's start off with talking about your strategy in the Forex markets.
Well, I trade pound, and I trade the pound pairs, and I'm keep it really simple, particularly in Forex. So I keep it really simple. I follow pound pairs. I look at euro and Aussie as well against the dollar, but mostly put trades against the pound. And I like trending markets. I like to trade trends, and I like to use fibs and kind of get in on a retracement, going in the direction of the trend. And then ranging markets like we're having now, you tend to just really be more conservative with your targets and maybe more tighter on your stops. But I like to keep it really simple.
Now, do you have hard stops and targets, or do you have trailing?
Oh, I use mental stops specifically, and then as soon as I can get profitable, I put in hard stops. Particularly the way the markets have been trading lately, we can get these huge swings. So I like to be really prudent in putting in physical stops.
I really like the point you just brought up about mental stops when you're trading to start, but then you put in hard stops once you're profitable. Just taking the money off the table and limiting your risk is something that we really preach with our traders here, and it's such an important lesson to learn.
Absolutely.
Now you talk about the trend and everything. What are the trends right now in Forex? The new trends, or are they continuing over the summer? What have you seen?
So we've seen the pound rally pretty much against everything in the latter half of 2014, and that continued through the new year. And what's been interesting is that this summer, and it's been fundamentally based, so it's been a sound breakout. What's been interesting is over this summer, we've seen the UK fundamentals have started to deteriorate, and it started to happen in July. And like they say, one data point, 1 month doesn't make a trend. And so what I have been following is maybe this is the beginning of a trend, because it was around this time last year as well where we started to see fundamentals really solidify and become really robust. And we're seeing just the opposite. And in my mind, to me, back in July, if this did become a trend, this rally would unravel very, very quickly because it was based on these fundamentals. And in Forex, when you see shifts in the fundamentals, even as technical traders, when you start to see the fundamentals shift, the underlying reason why this trend is in place to begin with, we're at the beginning of a reversal. So what we started to see coming into August is more data starting to show a trend lower in the fundamentals. And we're right at the beginning of what could be a really big reversal in the pound. To boot, we're starting to see the dollar pick up strength, where it's kind of been fickle all year. The dollar should be rallying, but it's not rallying because we're kind of tightening, but the taper's not a tightening, whatever way you fall on that argument. But we're starting to see the fundamentals come in, and if we saw the FOMC minutes Wednesday showing a hawkish yelling, which I think is surprising, and then it would actually help to fuel the decline in the pound dollar, those capital flows could actually pull the pound lower, against other pairs. So that's kind of the fundamental picture that we're coming into in the fall, and when we start to see the summer doldrums kind of die out, and hopefully volatility picks up around those kind of fundamentals, I think we might have a new trend in place with sterling.
The new trend. All right, that's a really good point. Now, with the Jackson Hole today, we got the world's top central bankers, including Janet Yellen and Mario Draghi, talking.
Right.
What's in focus here coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern?
I want to hear if Yellen confirms the hints that we're hearing in the minutes. So the minutes are kind of backwards looking. So we'll be looking, and I think the market would be looking at her to see if that was, a one-time conversation, or are we really starting to see the Fed starting to turn hawkish and really discuss interest rate hikes after the taper ends in October? That would be very, very significant shift from what we've been seeing. For the past 5 years.
Yeah, so I mean, her speech today will have an impact on the dollar. Figuring out, are we actually going to see? Is there merit to an early rate hike? If there is, what are you going to be playing, or are you, how do you adjust your strategy for news like that?
I would say you want to get in on corrections. You don't want to chase. And we essentially have confirmation from a central banker. So if we get that from Yellen today, we kind of got that from Carney on the sterling side. I would really be playing to buy the dollar, particularly against the pound, and I'd be looking to sell the pound probably against everything else, as those currencies, the Aussie, the Kiwi, also weaken against the rising dollar.
Now you've always been mentioned to me as one of the key people to follow in Forex, and I heard some news from the grapevine, talking with you a little bit about it before the show too, about the new advisory firm that you are opening up. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So since being on Twitter, I've been humbled by the request to essentially build wealth, and a lot of people are looking at various asset classes, Forex being one, and it may not be suitable for all investors, but I've typically just shied away from it, and I really just bit the bullet, got the paperwork in order, did the exams that are necessary, and I'm really happy to announce that everything has gone through, and FM Capital Group is ready and open and ready to help people navigate the market as it's suitable for them.
Nice. Is there? Do you guys have a website up for that yet, or no?
No website up yet. We're looking to get that going in the next couple weeks, but we have our brochures out. We have our cards up, so we have all our printed assets in place to really help people get in contact with me.
All right, well, I'm dropping your link to Twitter in the chat again, too, so make sure everybody, if you want to learn more from Faith, go follow her and shoot her a tweet. I got Tony in the chat here asking, what's your take on the Canadian euro going to Greece in 20 days and need euro dollars? Any thoughts on the Canadian euro?
What was the last part of the question?
Tony said that he's going to Greece in the next 20 days, so I'm guessing he's asking for exchange rates.
Well, he's actually playing just two weak currencies against each other. He's probably going at a good time because the euro has weakened completely, and Draghi today won't help matters. So I don't expect him to help matters. It'd be interesting to see. But Draghi's actually been very consistent in trying to talk the euro down. So he's actually going at a pretty good time, even though the Canadian dollar has been weakening as well, particularly against the dollar. But against the euro, I think he's going at a really good time.
All right, everybody, this is Lydia Finkley, Faith Might FX. Lydia, congrats on the news and the success. If someone deserves it in the FX markets, it's definitely you. Thanks for coming on Friday, and have a good weekend.
Cool. Thank you very much, Kyle.